Monday, June 1st, 2:32 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Brian, and this is the Center Aisle. What if President Trump just made the smartest move of this entire conflict? Not by launching missiles, not by threatening war, not by walking away from negotiations. What if he just handed Iran a choice? Because according to reports, negotiations have been trying to complete a Memorandum of Understanding, not a final peace agreement, not a permanent deal, just a framework. And right now, all eyes are on President Trump's signature. But here's what nobody seems to be talking about. If Trump signs this thing, does he win no matter what happens next? Let's break it down. According to reports, Iran says they're done negotiating. That's not true. So welcome back to Center Aisle Breakdown, where we try to stay somewhere between partisan and talk about points and reality. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, please. It would really help out. And let me know down in the comments, do you think Iran will honor this MOU? They haven't honored anything yet, so. Or will this be the first missile launch prove the entire thing was just a stall tactic? They've already launched them. Let's get into it. What is this MOU? First things first, this is not the final agreement. This is not the end of negotiations. This is not a peace treaty, as has been said. This is essentially a framework that says, let's stop shooting long enough to see if we can solve this diplomatically. According to reports, the MOU would include keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, reducing tensions, extending the ceasefire, and beginning negotiations on bigger issues. In other words, stop firing. Start talking. Sounds simple enough. He talked to Hezbollah leaders and they said that they would stop finally. But here's where things get interesting. Why this may be a very smart political move? For weeks, we've heard that same criticism. Congress says Trump don't have authorization. Legal experts are debating presidential authority. The media is arguing about executive power. Fine. Now imagine Trump signs this MOU. He effectively says, okay, let's try diplomacy. That's hard to criticize. Because if Iran honors the agreement, Trump gets to say diplomacy worked. If shipping moves freely through the Hormuz, Trump gets to say diplomacy worked. If missile launches stop, Trump gets to say diplomacy worked. That sounds like a win to me. But now let's look back at the other possibility. The question everybody should be asking, what happens if the IRGC fires anyway? Which has been happening. What happens if drones start crossing the strait? What happens if commercial shipping gets targeted? What happens if a tanker suddenly gets hit? Because now the conversation changes. Instead of asking, why is Trump using force? People start asking, why did Iran break the deal? And that is a very different political argument. The self-defense argument, this is where things get fascinating. Trump has consistently argued the U.S. actions have been defensive in nature. His critics disagree. But if Iran signs onto a framework designed to reduce hostilities and then immediately violates it, Trump suddenly has a much stronger case. He can say, I tried diplomacy, and he has, far too long in many people's eyes. I signed the framework. He has not done that yet. I have gave negotiations a chance. Iran pulled the trigger. They have several times. Now, whether Congress agrees, with every military response, but politically, the burden shifts. And that's exactly why this MOU matters. The Strait of Hormuz question. Here's the part I keep coming back to. If the Strait of Hormuz is open, if commercial shipping is moving, if international vessels have unrestricted passage, then what exactly is the justification for future attacks? That's the question. Because if one side gets what it publicly claims he wants and still starts launching missiles, the world notices. And that's why the next 60 days could tell us more than the last several months of conflict. My take, this is where I land. I could be completely wrong. I'd be the first to admit it. But if I were sitting in the White House looking at this deal, I could see why Trump would be interested, because he creates two possible outcomes. Outcome number one, Iran honors the agreement. Conflicts cool down. Trump gets credit for diplomacy. Outcome number two, Iran violates the agreement. Trump gets to say he tried. Diplomacy first. Either way, he puts the next move squarely on Iran's shoulders. And from a political standpoint, that's not a bad place to be. So the biggest question isn't whether Trump signs the MOU. The biggest question is what happens the day after he signs it. Because if the missiles stop, diplomacy wins. But if they don't, the entire debate about self-defense, executive authority, military response, doesn't matter. What do you think? Is this a genuine attempt at peace? Or is this a test to see whether Iran is actually willing to stop? Drop your thoughts below, please. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos. And as always, I'll see you here in the next Center of the Eye. I apologize about the voice. I'm sick. That's why I haven't been around in a few days. We're going to try and make this work one way or the other. So I appreciate everybody looking in. Again, don't forget to drop your comments, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everything everybody has to say. Have a great day.